Chapter 8, The 5 Factors. So here's the moment we've all been waiting for. In this chapter, I will give you the solution and framework for the 5 happiness factors. I will also get you off and running so you can begin using them in your life. Remember, this is your life and you only get one chance to live it. I want you to make a committed decision to take these 5 factors and use them well. Life was meant to be an upward journey, and you were put here for a special purpose. Your job is to find that purpose, but the only way to do that is to live purposefully every day. The word paradox means something that is self-contradictory. Many secrets to life hide within a paradox, and that is why they remain secrets. It is no different when we are talking about happiness and finding our purpose. Life is funny like that. In order to find our purpose, we have to be happy. But if we haven't found a good purpose yet, it is hard to be happy. So it's like a catch-22, but the search for answers should never stop. You are either growing or dying. You are either moving upward or falling. You are the only person who can change the cycle by doing something different, and these 5 factors will help you do that. One point I would like to bring up about depression before I reveal the happiness factors. As stated earlier, I'm not much into conspiracy. However, it is pretty obvious the media focuses on fear, scarcity, and disorder. With something like politics, they sell you a propaganda to make you feel like you should be outraged at a particular issue or candidate. It gets blown way out of proportion, so all I'm saying is don't believe all the hype. As stated earlier, the media does this for ratings because anything shocking or fear-driven grabs your attention. Yes, there are many problems we face in the world, but the disorder the media focuses on every day is only a small percentage of what is really happening compared to the grand scope. Due to this, many people pick up a fear-driven scarcity mindset. The general rule of the law of attraction is whatever we believe or focus on, we attract. This is not some hairy-fairy principle. Scientists are actually beginning to prove the law of attraction. We all know perception creates reality. So how far can we really take that statement? If I was to ask you to think up another word for perception, what would it be? Maybe the word would be focus. So if perception creates reality, then focus creates reality. Focus creating reality is the law of attraction at play. We live in a cause and effect universe, so if your mind is subconsciously conditioned for scarcity or fear, that is exactly what you will manifest. I wrote an entire book on this subject, but for now, just know you have to be very careful where you put your attention. Focus on what you are grateful for and watch your life change around you. Just look around you. Do you have to walk to work, or do you drive in a nicely designed automobile with temperature control on a smoothly paved road? Do you go into the wild to hunt your next meal, or can you drive to the grocery store and choose from foods already laid out and prepackaged? Look outside your window. Look at all the colors. Look at the leaves on the trees. Look at the colors in the sky. Think about the highways you drive on and the sidewalks you walk on. There is abundance all around you every single day. Your job is to notice. Through the repetition of the media's negative imagery, our subconscious often becomes conditioned for unhappiness, fear, doubt, and negativity. Add all this to the daily pressures of life, and no wonder 14.8 million people suffer from depression in America. Keep in mind, the drugs administered for all this is a multi-billion-dollar industry. There's a lot of pharmaceutical companies making lots of money off this. Now, I'm not here to say depression isn't real, because some people have a chemical imbalance, but America has gotten way out of control. All I can do is tell you how this has worked for others, and these factors have allowed me to create a life of freedom beyond anything I've ever expected. They've also helped me eliminate depression more than once in my life. If nothing else, these factors are designed to raise your happiness and get you locked into that feeling of purpose. The better sense of purpose you have, the happier you will become. I want you to have these 5 factors because they can change your life, so stick with me. When I was struggling, I had a habit to conjure up feelings and images of sadness, loneliness, and despair. Do you ever do this by default? For many people, depression comes from a patterned way of looking at the world. At the time, my mind was conditioned to focus on what was wrong in life rather than what was right. It was like a recipe I would play over and over. In fact, Tony Robbins calls this just that, emotional recipes. You know what I mean. First, something would happen disappointing. Then I would think about other disappointing situations. Then I would think about more things not working out. Then sprinkle in some complaining. We all play these little recipes in our minds subconsciously, and they happen within milliseconds. The beauty of this is we can change these recipes if we are aware of them. We can also use recipes to get into a happy state. For me, when I get happier, first I begin to breathe heavier. Then I have a slight smile that stays on my face almost like a smirk. Then I ask the question, what is funny around me? Because I am focused on what is funny, I then begin making funny comments. I then begin feeling better. These recipes happen all the time but are so subconscious we rarely notice them. If you want to see a good example of emotional recipes, watch children. Children are very transparent because they live right in the moment. So what are some of the recipes you play to get into a happy state of mind? How about a negative state of mind? By the way, as soon as you notice a recipe getting you into a poor state of mind, quickly stop and begin playing a happy recipe. The more you do this over and over, the quicker you will find yourself just jumping right to the happiness recipe. Then it begins to happen on its own and voila, you are conditioned for happiness. Remember, just like anything good in life, we have to keep maintenance on this. No doubt you will begin to slip back to your old behaviors, but no worries. Just do the above steps again. You will find it easier to stay in a happy state of mind the more you do this. Once you have stopped the negative recipe and turned it around, you should have a positive mantra ready to go. Mantras are powerful because they command the subconscious mind to go in a particular direction. So once you broke the pattern, top it off with saying something out loud like, I'm creating a powerful life, or I'm headed toward my dreams, or I'm turning my life around, or I'm taking control of my mind and emotions. The above steps may sound a little trite, but believe me, if you just do this, it will change everything. This is all part of a Tony Robbins technology known as neuro-associative conditioning. This technology is very calculated and proven to work on hundreds of thousands of people. You see, instead of going out to get a prescription, I read a book. The book was Awaken the Giant Within. Not only did I read the book once, I read it 10 times. I dissected it, making notes all over the pages and marked it up. I knew Tony had knowledge that can change my perspective and I wanted to get it right. Then I did something less than 5% of the population do when they read a book. I employed the principles. Before you go buying into the idea you are depressed, here are a few more steps I want you to try. A. Make a committed decision to not live with those negative emotions anymore. Say to yourself, I've had it. My loved ones deserve a better version of me to show up, and so do I. Think of the cause and effect in your life from not being happy. For instance, think of the people you love and how you don't want to influence them in a negative way. B. Begin conditioning your mind to focus on what you're happy about rather than what is wrong. Do the same steps I wrote above pertaining to recipes. Whenever you catch yourself focusing on something that makes you feel depressed, quickly do something to snap yourself out of it right away. What I did was quickly move my body differently and directed my mind on something that made me passionate. The famous Dr. Joe Dispenza calls this a pattern interrupt. Joe's work is brilliant. He goes into deep detail about how to recondition your mind to make new neurological connections. What he teaches can make you feel better and adopt new behaviors. The next thing you want to do is get your body moving into action. Some kind of action, any action. If you don't know what actions to take, just start. The universe works off momentum, and if you begin moving, doors will open for you, showing you the right way. The mind works with the body, and the body works with the mind. The mind and body are one, and the cells in your body have intelligence just like the mind. This just takes a little creativity and follow-through. C. Start moving toward your grand vision, i.e. get yourself moving toward those meaningful goals and dreams you have. D. Push yourself to be very productive every day. Remember, as long as you get enough sleep, your body has the capability to be productive every waking hour. When we sleep, we repair the cells in our bodies, so rest is also very important. We as humans were put here to be productive. Unproductive people become depressed. I am not here to say you should go out and work every waking second of the day, but many people stop themselves because of a belief that says, I must not push myself too hard. If you push yourself, your mind and body will adapt. Age, race, gender, religion, or genetics has nothing to do with it. Don't believe the hype. E. Smile. Move quickly throughout the day, get into a groove, and smile more often. So, are you ready for the happiness factors? Then let's do this. Factor number 1. Prime the day. Every single morning you must get up a bit earlier and prime the day. Why must we prime the day? Because we want to direct where our lives are going, and first thing in the morning is the time to do it. Think of an airplane or helicopter. Aircraft are designed to be very light so they can fly. The helicopters I fly hold 2 people and are only 1,350 pounds with fuel and 2 passengers. The winds and weather often knock a helicopter off course, but the pilot will make constant adjustments to make the aircraft go in the right direction. When I was first training to fly, my instructor said something that was so simple, but I will never forget. On a very windy day, I was making an approach to runway 17 Merida Markham Airport. I was at about 2,200 feet and a large part of the runway was blocked off. I had this tiny little strip below where I was supposed to land the helicopter. I was being blown all over the place. Finally, my instructor said, "Brad, make the helicopter go where you want it to go." Now, I know that sounds so trite, but think about it. Sometimes we need to be reminded of this. Sometimes we forget it is up to us and only us to land that helicopter. It is your job to take total responsibility and complete command of the controls. There is no one else who can do it for you. If you do not make the day go where you want it to go by priming in the morning, you are left up to the daily winds and blustery chance. Most people leave their days up to chance, and that is why many people often find themselves unhappy. So how do we prime the day properly? Priming step number 1, water and oxygen. As soon as you wake up every day, have a gallon of water at your bedside. The first thing you should do is begin taking sips from the gallon and continue drinking that gallon throughout the day until you finish. We all know how important drinking water is for our health and vitality. When we sleep, we release toxins and our bodies become dehydrated, so we must start drinking as soon as we wake up. Drinking a gallon per day will make a huge difference. A lot of people have a hard time getting enough water in every day. With this simple formula, you will easily hydrate your body, create a habit that is measurable, and bring health and energy into your life. When you go shopping, simply buy as many gallons of water you need to last until the next shopping trip. Put 1 gallon at your bedside every day and begin this process right away. If you are unable to drink the whole gallon within 24 hours, that's okay. Just do it again the next day. You will eventually work up to a full gallon, and this will get to the point where you can't imagine life without that water gallon. As far as getting more oxygen in the blood, I have a series of breaths I want you to do as soon as you wake up, and here they are. 1. Breathe in slow for a count of 30 seconds. What I mean is, breathe in so it takes a total of 30 seconds to fill up your entire lung capacity. 2. Hold the breath for 15 seconds. 3. Let out this breath for another 15 seconds. That means as you're letting the breath out, hold it back so the breath is let out slowly over the course of 15 seconds. Do 4 to 10 sets of these as you are doing your other morning priming steps. This type of breath cleansing is a major secret to health and vitality. This cleanses toxins and the lymph system, which is a major part of the immune system. These breaths will skyrocket your energy and help eliminate disease. The process of holding it back for the last 15 seconds also trains your diaphragm to speak and sing properly. You may even notice your voice a bit deeper after you do these breaths. When you first start doing these priming steps, it may seem hard to stick to, but stick with it. It gets easier through time. These days, I do all these steps every morning automatically. It has become as easy as brushing my teeth. If you fall off one day, just try again until it sticks. This is a lifestyle and habit which pays dividends for years to come. Priming step number 2, power questions. After you begin drinking water and have begun doing your breaths, immediately start asking yourself power questions. Asking power questions is again a process invented by Tony Robbins. As you can see, I use many of Tony's techniques, and Tony has been a major influence in my life. The reason I'm all about Tony is because Tony has an incredible understanding of human behavior. Tony is self-educated, and because of this, he's not bound within the myopic views often imposed on people through traditional education. There is a reason why Tony is so famous. It's because his techniques work, and they work every time. I have to say this one factor has changed my life incredibly, and this is probably the most important action or factor you can take daily. Remember, we want to land that helicopter and ask these questions as soon as we awake. Your brain focuses on what you ask it. The process of thinking is you evaluating the world around you. Evaluating the world around you is nothing more than asking and answering questions. So thinking is nothing more than asking and answering questions. Most of this goes on subconsciously, so if we ask the right questions, we take back control of our mind and emotions. When we take back control of our mind and emotions, we take control of our life. The Bible says, "Ask and you shall receive." Tony Robbins says, "Questions are the answer." John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King both knew the power of this. Questions are extremely powerful for priming a good day. Here are some of the questions you need to ask yourself every morning, and if you're a real trooper, you'll ask them at night as well. A. What am I happy about? There is always something you can be happy about in your life. It doesn't have to be something huge. Maybe you're happy about the fact you live in America, or maybe you're happy about the fact that you have clothing to wear or food to eat. Whatever it is, find something that you're happy about. The more we direct ourselves to be happy, the more we train our brain and rewire it to create happiness. B. What am I excited about? Ask yourself that question and come up with an answer. No matter how bad you think your life is, you can always come up with an answer like, I'm excited about the fact I'm alive, or I'm excited about the fact I'm going on vacation a month from now, or I'm healthy. We want to consciously direct our mind, and you can always find an answer. Feel the feeling of excitement after you've answered that question. See, what am I looking forward to today? This is a big one. Now, let us say you have to go to a job you hate, and after that, you have to help your cousin move across town. Unless you're excited about spending some time with your cousin, you have nothing to look forward to. Well, you can always find something like, I'm looking forward to getting this day over with, or I'm looking forward to completing this day at work. If I complete this day at work, then I have another day of pay, which can be used toward my Spanish classes. When I complete my Spanish classes, it will get me closer to my dream of learning how to speak Spanish. I don't know what it is for you, but if you really look at your life, you can always find something you're looking forward to. Maybe you're looking forward to watching a movie later on that night. Find something. D, what am I passionate about? Find something that makes you passionate and begin feeling those feelings. Then picture your goals as you are feeling passionate. When we deeply visualize and attach positive feelings to our goals and targets, something magical happens. Attaching emotion to your vision helps attract it into your life. I realize that sounds a bit metaphysical, but all I can do is tell you how powerful this has worked for me and others as well. Even if it's something you don't have in your life yet, choose something that makes you passionate. I remember the first time I saw professional modeling photos of a girl who grew up right in my hometown. She's a fitness model. Her name is Erin. Now, not to brag, but I personally have dated a lot of beautiful women throughout my life. A lot of the women I've dated in the past have also become some of my best friends. Even after all that, when I first saw Erin's photos, I was taken back a bit. I don't normally do this type of thing, but I even messaged Erin in a very nice way on Facebook to tell her how impressed I was by her images. Erin looks like an angel. If you are a man, just knowing there are women out there who are that beautiful can develop inspiration in you. Not in a creepy or sexual way. I'm talking about a healthy inspiration. Erin's photos represent an angelic beauty and elegance. In this way, she delivers extreme value to the world through her modeling. So whatever makes you passionate, now is the time to remember what makes you feel alive. What is it for you? If you're a woman, maybe it's Mel Gibson. Maybe it's not about the opposite sex. Maybe it's about the same sex. Maybe it's about something like driving a fast car or painting on a canvas. I don't know what it is for you. This is your time to be creative and focus on what makes you feel passionate during this priming process. E, what am I grateful for? This is another big one. There's something magical about being grateful. Something happens universally when we say thank you. Maybe it's something small like I'm grateful for the good night's sleep I just had, or I'm grateful for the breakfast I'm about to eat. I'm grateful for my family and friends, or my talent for getting people to smile. Or maybe it's the fact you're almost graduated from school. I don't know what it is for you, but sure as the sun rises, there are things in your life you can be grateful for if you really look for them. Priming step number 3, read or journal something inspirational. We live in a negative world, and one of the first actions you must take in order to live a happy and successful life is to feed your mind good input every morning. This is all part of priming. This may sound like a lot to do, but believe me, if you prime the day properly, it will change your life and ultimately create more time in the long run. Instead of pushing snooze to the very last minute, isn't it about time you mastered your mornings? There is nothing special about people who get up earlier. They've just created a different habit, and you can do the same. If you fall off one morning, just try again the next. Also, you can start off small and just set the alarm 15 or 30 minutes earlier. When the alarm goes off, think of me. Picture me in your mind and say to yourself, what would Brad do? He would get up and prime the day. That's what he would do. I'm with you, my friend. At this point, you want to read or journal for at least 10 to 20 minutes or more. This will get your mind sharp and on point. These days, unless I'm singing or doing a seminar, I go to bed at 8 p.m. and get up at 2 a.m. After 7 hours of sleep, I usually write my books or develop my programs early in the morning. This feeds my soul, and there is something magical about the morning hours. You can even watch the sunrise. This is a great way to start your day. I also do my research and study other authors during this period of time. This gives me positive reinforcement right from the get-go. Priming step number 4, move. After journaling or reading, do some kind of weight training or cardio. It doesn't necessarily have to be a lot, but it must be in the morning. Getting the blood flowing and our heart rate up during this period of time is a major secret. If you often find yourself unhappy or if you struggle to be productive, this step can change everything. If you're a bodybuilder, you can do your workout here or just 20 or 30 minutes of cardio. By the way, if you do your cardio in the morning, it raises the metabolism for the rest of the day. You begin burning fat and it lasts all day long. Although it may feel a bit uncomfortable at first, just keep doing it, and this will get easier as you get used to it. This also allows you to get it over with. When you come home from work, you have more time to work on your dreams rather than spending it all night at the gym. Take control. Priming step number 5. Get quiet and release. The principle of yin and yang is a concept in Chinese philosophy. This principle says that all things exist as inseparable and contradictory opposites, like dark to light and old to young. The two opposites often attract and complement each other. The symbol shows neither pole is superior to the other, and the correct balance between the two poles must be reached in order to achieve harmony. A lot of people do good setting up their targets and taking action toward them, but never take the time to release it to the universe. The basic discipline of creation is to have a target, take action toward it, and initiate. At the same time, we do not want to hold on too tightly to its outcome. Everything is a balance like the yin and yang, and when we hold too tightly, our daily actions become out of line and off balance. Within this period of time, either praying or some kind of meditation will help you release. Meditation is actually a discipline. What I mean is meditation trains your mind to stay calm instead of reacting to the outside world. When we train our mind to not react, we have serious power. Meditation can also be a form of self-hypnosis and can help you rid of any unwanted behaviors. The technique I used was founded by a man called Roy Masters. Check out my video about meditation on YouTube entitled How to Meditate Properly, Bradley Lenart. After you get quiet, you should stretch all your muscles in your body. If you're holding negative energy, stretching will help you release it. Factor number 2, set your targets. Your targets are your goals. The word goal is overdone, so when we hear someone talking about goal setting, many people zone out because they think they've heard it all before. I use different terminology like the word target. Think of yourself like an arrow flying toward a destination. The question is, where will you land 10, 15 years from now? Human beings have an incredible power to be able to take a thought and make it into reality. When we set our targets or goals, then write them on paper, something magical happens universally. We take something intangible, then begin to bring it into physical reality. When we write down our targets or goals, we begin to initiate their creation. When we do this, we are taking a vision which is made from energy and we are physically bringing it into the material world through ink onto paper. We also empower the RAS, which is the reticular activating system, to work to its highest potential. Once you write out your goals, those targets will begin moving closer to you. Whether you and those targets meet in the future is up to you. In order to meet your targets, you have to deserve to meet your targets. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, effort, innovation, persistence, and fortitude. Right now, I want you to picture a hypothetical situation. Picture yourself winning the lotto. Let us say the lotto purse was the largest in history. Let us say you won $14 billion. The next day you go for a checkup at your doctor's and the doctor told you only have 10 years to live. So within 1 week's time you became a multi-billionaire, but you also found you only have 10 years left on this planet. What would you do? Where would you go? What would you do for your loved ones? Where would you live? What kind of car would you drive? What would you learn? Would you learn how to pilot a helicopter or airplane? Maybe it would be a boat for you. Would you build a house on a hill or move to a different climate? Would you go skydiving or would you go to the opera? Would you have a winter house in the tropics? How would you set your life up for the next 10 years? There are 9 major areas you can choose from when it comes to setting your targets. 1. Material possessions and lifestyle. 2. Wealth. 3. Business and careers. 4. Family and friends. 5. Relationships and partner. 6. Health. 7. Audacious goals. 8. Spirituality and gratitude. 9. Contribution. Right now, I want you to write your top 5 to 7 targets or goals on paper. Look at the list above so it triggers ideas about what you want to create and choose within those areas. Also, write your targets in the present tense and be as specific as possible. This is very important. So if you want to build a house, write your target like this. I, Brad Lenart, built a 12-room house with a jacuzzi, heliport, and in-ground pool in San Diego, California. I, Brad Lenart, earned $15 million per year as a multifaceted entrepreneur, helping people live better lives through my seminars, books, and programs. I, Brad Lenart, sing in a great cover band locally with great musicians. The phrases you want to use are action phrases in the present like these. I own, I build, I earn, I have, I sing, I play, I am, etc. Do not say I want. The law of attraction is tricky. If you say, I want a house on the hill, you will attract more wanting. Do you see that? Instead, you want to say, I built a house on a hill, or I have a house on a hill. Remember, everything should be put down on paper as if it's already happened. So for me, here are my top 5 targets at this point in my life during the writing of this book. 1. I, Brad Lenart, earn $15 million per year while contributing to other people's lives through my message. 2. I, Brad Lenart, am in a relationship with a woman who I am deeply attracted to. She is easy to talk to, honest, and fun. We have a passionate relationship. 3. I, Brad Lenart, am touring the world with my seminars and playing locally in a great rock cover band. 4. I, Brad Lenart, fall between 5 and 8% body fat on a constant basis. And 5. I, Brad Lenart, am changing people's lives and making a global impact with my message. Now go write your targets on paper right now. Go do it, do it, do it, do it. But come back to me when you're done for factor number 3. Okay, factor number 3, visualize. Every great leader understands the power of visualizing. In fact, every single thing you see around you in the modern world was once a vision in someone else's mind. We humans are extremely powerful, but there are a few things we must do in order to tap our full potential, and visualizing is one of them. The visioning process is all part of your nightly and morning routine. So we want to visualize in the morning when we prime the day, and also at night just before bed. Before we begin visioning, we must be very specific about how we want to create our future, and that comes from our targets we wrote above. When you visualize these targets in the morning and at night, sit down or lay in your bed with your computer at your side. Use headphones and go on YouTube and find your favorite band or music. Play the music of your favorite band in the background and have your targets listed on paper at your bedside. Read off the first target and close your eyes. Visualize yourself in a reality where the goal or target has been manifested. So for me, my first target is I, Brad Lenart, earn $15 million per year while contributing to other people's lives through my message. I will close my eyes and speak that target just like that. I, Brad Lenart, earn $15 million per year while contributing to other people's lives through my message. I will mantra that over and over. You want to command the universe to give you what you were put here to do. You are also deep-seeding that mantra into your subconscious mind. Then I picture myself looking at my yearly income statement. The statement, of course, has 15 million on it. I then see myself on stage speaking to thousands of people. I picture how the words I say affects their lives, how it affects their children's and eventually their grandchildren's lives. Then I feel the feelings I would feel as if I was making that much money every year. I start feeling a surge of passion and I start generating powerful positive emotions. I associate and attach those feelings to the images. I then begin to feel like I'm there, even stronger in mantra, yes. I say things like, this is my new reality. I'm a powerful creator. Life is a journey and I'm headed toward my dreams. I then picture the money flowing in abundance. When we visualize our targets, we want to visualize them in color. We want to smell the smells, feel the feelings, and hear the sounds just as if we were there. We then want to amplify it to higher and higher levels. Picture yourself a confident, powerful person and visualize with as much detail as possible. If you have self-confidence issues, visualize yourself a giant and everyone is smaller than you. Visualize yourself being dynamic and taking control of every single situation. One side note here, a lot of people have negative hooks around money. Let's just get something straight before we continue. Money is not bad. Money is a magnifying glass. What I mean is, if you have a lot of money and you are stuffy, arrogant, egotistical, and brash, the money will make you more stuffy, arrogant, egotistical, and brash. However, if you are a kind, giving, and caring person, money will allow you to contribute to more people. Also, if you begin making more money, it doesn't mean you're taking it from someone else. Money simply does not work that way. Yeah, sure, we should be competitive when it comes to giving value to the world, but money is just a representation of the value you give. Many rich people use their money as a tool to innovate and do great things in other people's lives. Don't believe the hype. It's okay to make as much money as you want. There's plenty to go around and there is no limits. Your job is to figure out how to make it. After you've visualized your first target for 3 to 10 minutes, move down the list to the next one. Continue through visualizing these goals and targets working together. Picture these targets supporting each other in symbiosis and see how they work to create an unstoppable force in your life. Picture yourself beginning to gain momentum. Picture your friends, your family, and your loved ones as a part of this. This is your circle. Realize that every person who was put in your life was put there for a reason. Realize you were reading this book for a reason. There are no accidents, my friend, and every person who crosses your path is there to show you something. Wealth surrounds you, and you have the universe as your playground. Picture yourself saying all the right words and doing all the right things exactly at the right time. Picture the universe as a huge, living, breathing super consciousness, and you are deeply in tune with it. Say to yourself things like, I am sharp as a razor. I have an overflow of abundance. My friends, family, and loved ones are a part of my circle, and everything around me supports the next situation. It all works together. I'm a living, wondrous journey. I am gifted. I am guided. The universe works for me in my favor. All the answers are present, and I receive them exactly at the right time. I have a wealth of knowledge. Wealth surrounds me. I can create anything. My life is enchanted. I lead by example. I take total responsibility. Every day I create. Every day I create a good environment. I am a freight train. Abundance circulates around me. I am flooded with value. I am flooded with love. I flood others with love. The universe loves me. God is within me. I am unstoppable. I have wisdom. I have self-reliance. I am self-aware. Age has nothing to do with it. Whether young or old, age is power. I am more efficient. I am more effective every day. I find answers. I will break through. I create a fun-filled environment for my spouse. I create an incredible environment for others everywhere I go. Problems are a learning experience, etc. Say these phrases passionately and think up more every single day. When you put these mantras out to the universe, it creates a force that begins to attract extraordinary things to you. The stars become aligned, my friends, and everything you do begins to work for you in your favor. Feeling emotion while saying these mantras is the glue which bonds these new beliefs and visualizations into reality. Go for it, my friend. You can do this. You can bet I do my visualizations every single day, and when you do yours, I want you to think of me. Although you and I may have never met before, if you are here, you are part of my circle. I hope one day our paths cross and you will tell me how these mantras have changed your life. You see, in order to live a better life, we have to first create it in our mind's eye. This is the power we have as humans to co-create our lives. Plato was the first to have the idea of a parallel universe. The theory of a parallel universe is a theory with evidence which says there are other universes happening simultaneously. These parallel universes may have a slightly different version of you in them, like the version who has already achieved all your goals and targets. When we deeply visualize and attach powerful, passionate emotions to these visions, we are able to tap into a power that is unexplainable by science. We begin to morph into that reality, and the longer we visualize deeply, the more that reality begins to manifest around us. Factor number 4, diet and exercise. We touched a bit on this in factor number 1. Your body is the vehicle you use to get from point A to point B. When you are overweight or not in shape, it affects your entire life. The problem is most people have never been educated about metabolism. In America, we have so much food at our disposal and most of it is processed. Let me make this factor quick and easy. A. Every day get up and just do some light cardio or jogging for 20 minutes or longer. Get your heart rate up. B. Eat every 3 to 4 hours and eat fist-sized meals. That means your meals should be the size of your fist. Schedule this so you're eating 5 to 6 times per day and don't eat after 8 p.m. Make the meals high in protein, moderate in fat, and lower in carbs. Do not miss a meal. You cannot lose weight long-term by missing these meals or starving yourself. You will find it a bit difficult to keep on this, but it is worth it. In order to lose weight and have energy, you must eat the right food at the right time consistently. Do it. This is a lifestyle. C. Drink that water gallon. D. Go food shopping at least once per week and buy the right foods so you have them. Don't buy junk. E. Have one cheat meal on Sunday. Even God took a day off. This one cheat meal could be anything you want, but don't binge. Yes, ice cream, fried foods, whatever you want. During the week, when you're feeling like you want to go off your diet, just say to yourself, I will wait till Sunday. It doesn't matter what age, race, gender, or color. If you follow these steps above and stick to it, you will get your metabolism cranking. You will feel incredible, have more energy, and lose weight. This lifestyle will make you happy. Metabolism is a science, and just like anything, it is easy once you know what to do. I can go into deep detail about diet and exercise, but I won't. If you want to learn more, I'm coming out with a diet. I call it the New Day Diet. Look for it. Factor number 5, secure and maintain proper beliefs. In order to maintain proper beliefs, first we must know which beliefs are hurting us. Then we must know which beliefs to adopt. We touched on the 3 major beliefs to adopt in order to live in the flow zone in Chapter 5. Do you remember what they were? 1. Everybody has a special purpose and you were put here for a special reason. 2. Problems are put in your life to help guide you toward your destiny. 3. Everything I do mean everything happens for a reason. Here is the 4th belief you must adopt in order to live your fullest potential. 4. There is always a way if you're committed. Beliefs actually control everything we do. Yep, you guessed it. Beliefs also control our happiness. There is absolutely no difference between you and someone you think is at a higher level than you. The only difference is they have more empowering beliefs, therefore they've been able to tap into their resources more often. Everything works upon itself, and because they have empowered beliefs, they took more action, which also created more skill through time. So happiness and success rarely has to do with intellect. It's about beliefs. Remember, I was that kid from a small town in Connecticut who was shy. I had social issues and had nothing going for me. My sixth grade teachers were concerned for my safety at home. Today, I live a life of freedom beyond anything I could expect. I've toured the world as a lead singer for the USO and a rock band. I've built my own personal helicopters with my own two hands and registered them airworthy with the FAA. I've flown these helicopters through the Arizona mountains and lived an adventurous life. Although we grew apart romantically, I manifested the exact woman of my dreams who is now my best friend. I have seen and done 2,000 more than the average person. All this has not happened by chance. Again, I say to you, I don't mention all this to brag. I mention this because I want you to understand the importance of beliefs. When I was struggling, I held a scarcity mindset and was unable to identify any opportunities in my life. Little by little, day by day, year by year, I began changing my internal beliefs about what I thought was possible. As my beliefs changed, my life changed. Today, I am happier than I've ever dreamed of, and I have a sense of power and control beyond anything I expected. Maybe you are a housewife or teacher. Maybe you're a policeman or musician. Maybe you're just a person who's looking to make your way and you're not looking to create anything out of the ordinary. Whoever you are, if there was one thing I could ask for you to take from this book, I would ask you to realize the power of beliefs. Now, I know a lot of inspirational speakers talk about beliefs, and you may have heard this before, but sometimes we just need to be reminded of what we already know. I'm asking you to realize that anything is possible for you, my friend, and believe that you can change anything. With persistence, a willingness to learn, and follow through, you can design your life into a masterpiece. But first, you must believe it is possible. I want you to do a very important exercise that can change your life. Think back to when you were a kid and try to remember some of the negative phrases you may have heard growing up. What I mean is things like people are mean, or relationships are hard, or money is evil, or as soon as you make it, it's gone. Life is hard or life is tough. You're going to run yourself down or I'm too young. These are just examples of some innocent phrases kids hear growing up, which can affect their potential. Awareness is usually very helpful, so this is why I bring this to your attention. Just go over some of the negative phrases you heard growing up and write them out on paper. On the opposite side of the paper, I want you to write its antithesis. What do I mean by this? Well, if the phrase you wrote says life is so hard, the antithesis or opposing view would be life is hard when you give up easily, but the daily challenges make it exciting. If the phrase is relationships are hard, write on the back relationships are easy when you make them playful and keep the passion going. If the phrase is I'm too young or too old, write on the back youth is power or age is power. Age is intelligence and youth is flexibility. Like Deepak Chopra says, there is no actual reality. There is only the perception of reality, and we perceive our reality through the filter of our beliefs. Finally, your next step is a very important one. Every morning when you visualize, take out the back side of this paper. Make sure it's the back, not the front. Then visualize yourself conducting your life as if you were a person who believes the empowering belief. What do I mean? Well, if your limiting belief was relationships are hard, then visualize the opposite phrase you wrote happening in your life. So the opposite or antithesis was relationships are easy when you make them playful and keep the passion going. So visualize yourself in a relationship, keeping it playful and keeping the passion going. Also notice and identify references which back up that empowering belief. What do I mean? Well, if the belief is relationships are easy when you make them playful and keep the passion going, then notice a relationship of someone you know who is doing well. Notice how they keep it playful if they do, and notice how they keep the passion going. This will reinforce the new empowering belief even further. Here is one more point about uncovering beliefs. In priming step number 2, I told you about Tony's awesome power questions. Did you know you can ask yourself any question and this will connect you to a greater resource inside? So in order to uncover beliefs, just ask yourself the question, what is a limiting belief that is holding me back? Ask the question with total expectation of getting an answer. Remember, your mind is connected to a super consciousness. You are part of the universe and all universal intelligence lies within you. If you believe the answer will come, it will. So ask yourself that question and wait for the answer. When I do this, I usually get an answer within a few minutes. It may take up to a week to get the right answer, but if you believe it will come, it will, I promise. Years ago, when I was uncovering some of my own limiting beliefs, I came up with things like I never have enough energy. When I uncovered this belief, I wrote the antithesis and went over it every morning. I changed the belief to I have as much energy as I need as long as I get adequate sleep. My energy literally skyrocketed, and it is the reason why I'm able to be here with you today. Factor number 6, take nothing personal. What? You say factor number 6? I thought there were only 5 factors. You should know me better than that by now. I'm not going to let you get away with just 5 measly little factors here. My life is full throttle, and everything I do is to help provide greater value to others. I just had to add this extra factor in quickly because this one is a big one when it comes to happiness. In the book The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, the second agreement is never take anything personal. Just in case you never read the book, I wanted to pass that great knowledge along to you. Remember, if someone attacks you verbally, crosses a boundary, or says something that is negative about you, it really is not about you. You are just a target for their own frustration, and it could have been anyone. Let us say someone targets you at work. Many times people do this because of jealousy. One of the greatest human behaviors is a sense of congruency with our own identity. So we humans want to look congruent at all times. Even if you prove someone wrong after they've doubted you, they will probably continue to treat you poorly just so they look congruent. If you're the type of person who's still reading a book like The Happiness Factors all the way to Factor 6, you are very self-aware. Many people have never taken the time for self-awareness. Some people think self-awareness is a scam or a form of generic motivational diatribe. If you're living a life of high performance, you will find a lot of people who are threatened by you. Why does this happen? In their mind, you remind them of what they are not doing with their own life. Like I said in Chapter 2, a jealous spirit holds no logic. Realize these people just live within a very limited reality, and in many ways, it is not their fault. Find it in your heart to have compassion. Take the high road for the benefit of humanity and don't react. If you don't react or take it personally, you show by example you are living the principles you have read about in this book. Chapter 9, Conclusion. Well, we did it. We went through the happiness factors. I want to thank you for being here, and I want to thank you for your awesome willingness to learn. If you are here reading, you are obviously a special person. I'm sure you can see how important these principles are when it comes to living a successful and happy life. These factors will serve you well. I promise you, my friend, if you're diligent and you make these factors a part of your life, you can create more happiness and will take you places you never dreamed of. Until our paths cross again, I want to thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to engaging with you in person someday. Come see me live sometime. Come celebrate life, and if you are so inclined, leave me a message via Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, or Twitter. I would love to hear from you. Remember, life was meant to be a journey, and every single one of us has a very important mission to complete. Go out there and give it everything you got, and always remember to live full throttle. Sincerely and forever, your friend, Bradley Lenart.